Hello, fellow M156 owners. Today we'll be changing out the crankcase vent valve on my C63 without taking off the intake manifold. This job can be kind of brutal without taking the manifold off, but of course if you don't want to take the intake manifold off, which is a pretty big project in comparison, this should be the video for you. This job really isn't too bad if you have some patience and accept the fact that there will be some brittle connections and weird clips that will be very hard to remove. And you'll probably break some stuff along the way. But as long as you only break the old crankcase vent valve, you should be all right. I have the OEM part right here. I would not recommend getting anything else, only genuine for this part. It's just one of those things that will not go very well if you don't do that. The hardest part about this job is undoing the clip that connects the breather tube to the actual crankcase valley section. There's actually a coolant pipe that runs behind that is somewhat in the way. And there's really no good way of taking that old piece off without breaking it. Typically, these go bad around 60,000 miles. My 63 is at 56,000 miles, and I've had an intermittent vacuum leak code for fuel mixture, etc. Here's your new crankcase vent valve. You have the actual breather up here. There's a little diaphragm that goes back and forth in there. This connects to your intake manifold. I believe there's a T30 Torx or T25, we'll find out. And there is this connection that goes to your crankcase and the valley of the engine. And you can also see a date code stamped at the top. We can see this is 3/25, so I presume March 2025 is production for this part, which makes sense. Normally your first step would be taking off your air intake boxes and the engine cover, but I'll be taking off my strut brace first just to make my life a little bit easier. If you have a strut brace too, definitely remove that for better access to your Y pipe. If not, just give it the next step. Yeah. Don't lose these caps. Unplug your MAF sensors. Go. Nice. Loosen up the air boxes. Just pull these suckers off. There we go. Now, the Y pipe. This can be a bit challenging to remove just because of accessibility. There are essentially two little plastic tabs that anchor the Y pipe to the intake manifold. Picture an oval snout, and there's two little tabs that kind of clip on the edges of it. Can be hard to remove. There's also a vacuum line you'll have to undo. This vacuum line connects this vacuum canister in the center of the manifold. I should mention some cars actually do not have this vacuum canister right here. I believe it's the very early W211 E63, so 07 and 08, some of them, along with the very early 164 ML63, like 07, 08, do not have this vacuum canister here. I believe it goes somewhere else. So just keep that in mind. But for most of us, you'll have a vacuum canister up here and a vacuum hose going right to that portion. So be sure to remove that before you fully remove the Y pipe. Don't just yank it out of there. And because you have to reach so far behind this Y pipe, I'd recommend unclipping a lot of this stuff up here. So you have this sort of wiring harness shroud or loop that is in the way of the Y pipe. But if you take off this rubber trim, you can see that there are some metal clips kind of holding it to the cowling. We can actually lift those off and give ourselves some more wiggle room. It's a whole plastic clip that kind of keeps this in place, but if you just lift it up, the whole thing kind of moves out of the way, which is pretty much perfect. You can reach down over here, kind of feel for it. And I can feel the tab right now. Because I've done this many times, I know exactly where it is, but if it's your first time doing this, don't be intimidated. It's gonna take a while to feel for it. In fact, the driver's side or the left side, if you're in America, might be a little bit easier because there's no PCV valve in the way per se. But you really do have to do one at a time. There's no other way of doing this. And there we go. Our Y pipe can make its way out. And there's our vacuum hose. Let's disconnect that. And away we go. Here's our lovely Y pipe. These are the two very tabs that connect it to the actual intake manifold. If your manifold is warped, this may actually not be making a seal at all. So good time to check that out as well. Thankfully, my manifold's in good shape on this car, so it's all intact and making a good seal. Also, you can see there's quite a bit of dirt and debris that have just built up on the seal, so let's definitely clean that up before we put it back on the car. To give you somewhat of an idea of what we're working with over here, you can see the valve right over here. There is a vacuum line on top of it that goes toward that Y pipe fitting over here. But we can see it bolts right up to the intake manifold right over there. So we'll have to remove this vacuum line and get it out of the way. Be very, very careful of the fitting right below it. It's hard to really catch on camera, but there's a fitting that this vacuum line actually goes into on the intake manifold, and if you damage that, you can't really fix it properly. Mercedes does not sell that fitting specifically. They sell with the entire manifold, so it's kind of a pain to deal with. So be very, very cautious of that fitting. Again, hard to see, I know. I'll show it better when the actual valve is off of here, but we must be very cautious with that line. Anyways, we'll take off this vacuum hose, and then we'll get better access. But that sort of thin plastic hose on the valve itself routes down below and around, and you really can't see it, but it is there. I'll put a clip from my ML63 breather valve when I have the intake manifold out, but it does kind of click in right behind the manifold itself, right below it, and of course there's a fat coolant pipe in the way, which you can kind of make out, but not really. And before we do any work, definitely put a microfiber or some sort of clean towel in the intake manifold just to prevent any debris from getting in there. That's the last we want to get some debris in there, and it goes boom and destroys your engine. So definitely do something like that. So there's no real easy way to film this or get a good idea of what's going on without sort of having a strange angle. So just bear with me for a second here as we try to get this thing going. Anyways, we can get this off first. Is this hose that goes to that little valve. Just want to make it clear as well that this hose doesn't actually connect to the breather valve. It just kind of clips into it in this little groove up top. So all we're doing is just getting out of the way. Move this just a little bit out of the way. And you can see the Torx bolt that goes into the back of the manifold. Again, very hard to see. I'm going to try to give you guys a better angle. Just to reiterate, this is the hose we disconnected. It is clipped into the back of the manifold with these sort of metal washers, so we're going to leave those as they are. Just leave it unclipped, this way you don't drag this lower hose out, which can damage that fitting I mentioned earlier. You can kind of see the head of that Torx bolt right over there, and that's what we'll have to remove. It's also imperative that that doesn't drop into the manifold. So it's, again, want to be very clear, have something to protect your manifold, and don't let anything get in there. Can confirm that is a T30 Torx bolt. Now it's just a matter of getting it out. It seems like this 1/4-inch drive just fits. Really don't want to strip this. There we go. Yeah, just do this very slowly because this bolt is certainly prone to stripping and we do not want that nightmare on our hands. I can do it by hand now, which is even better. Look at that. Can try to wiggle this guy out now. So in theory, there is actually nothing holding it in the manifold anymore. There we go. Pops right out. Can see the two O-rings. And now it's just a matter of getting the actual fitting off the crankcase, which unfortunately is the hard part. But in case you couldn't catch what was going up there, you can see I have this breather valve removed from the manifold. We're also going to want to clean out that little port in the manifold as well, just to make sure things are good for the new valve to go in. So here's our new valve. You can see kind of roughly the orientation of how it would be on the crankcase side. Obviously not the perfect sort of angle, but you're going to have these two tabs that we'll have to squeeze and then pull. Like I said, this is nearly impossible to remove without breaking, but that's okay because we got a new one right over here. And believe it or not, installing is much easier than removing in this case. So you might just have to accept the fact that you're going to break these little connectors over here. If you just break these clips, it should pop out without much of a fuss. Huge pain. I'm very familiar with these from the BMW M54, and my 530i has a lot of these connectors for the CCV, which is just their variant of PCV. Yeah, just be aware of that. There's really no good way of me showing that. I think I got a clip with my wide-angle lens if I snuck my phone back there, but it really is just kind of feeling around for it. And you'll get a better idea once you have your hands in there and you're really kind of working around it. And that coolant pipe that goes between the two heads really does get in your way. So don't get too frustrated. Don't do anything forceful. Just realize it's going to take some time and some patience. Finally got that piece out, but not without a huge fight as expected. So as you saw earlier, I actually removed the breather valve itself from the tube by using a heat gun and just heating it up nice and warm, and this thing will eventually just pop off as it expanded. So that made life a little bit easier, in just in the sense that I could push this tube down and actually have more mobility with this joint at the actual crankcase. That being said, this connector really requires you to push down both ends with quite a lot of force once it's actually connected, obviously. Just sitting here, it's obviously broken now. But eventually this tube did break off. It's pretty brittle. In fact, I could see some small cracks in this tube. I'm not sure if they're from me messing with it. Most likely they are. But there may have been a couple there that were attributing to my vacuum leak I was experiencing earlier. So I'm glad we're changing this out. But regardless, this is now trash. But we can actually still use this in the future if we wanted to, say, do a oil catch can setup. In fact, I think the best way to do an oil catch can setup on these cars is to utilize the stock fittings, obviously not a broken one, but something like this would be perfect. Perhaps we could even get something to go over that crankcase port and not have a fitting like this instead. So there's a few options out there for that don't require special fittings, but instead utilizing what you already have. I don't think this actual valve is bad. If you look inside, it's somewhat hard to see. Maybe I'll get a better clip later, but it's super clean there. There's no sludge whatsoever. It's just a spring and a diaphragm. It looks pretty good. So I don't think this is the issue unless there's some surprising hole in there, but it really shouldn't be that. You can also see here, this is a 3, just as I drop the connector, this is a 314, so it's a March of 2014 production, which makes sense. This car is December 2014 production, being a 2015 model year, so it all kind of adds up. This is the original part. I got good life out of it, so I'm not really complaining about it. But now it's time to put the new piece in, and how I suggest you do that is take your new breather valve and have the tube feed down behind the coolant pipe as you took it out. Connect that part first. And you're going to want to put a lot of lubricant, whether it's silicone spray or something of the sort, whatever it takes to get that to slide on that part easily. It should be much easier to go on than to take off. Taking this connector off, like I said, it sucks. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's just not ideal. So your limited space, you got the firewall right there, and this may vary depending on what car you're working with. For a C63, it's probably as cramped as it's going to get. That being said, the ML63 honestly was a bit worse in terms of space you have back there because the engine sits so low. So your mileage may vary, as they say, but it does depend what vehicle you're working on, what chassis you're working with. I would imagine an S63 or CL63 would have a lot more room to work with, but then again, I don't really know. There's also not much space between this fitting and the actual value of the engine itself. So to get access to push these two tabs, I mean, really, unless there's some specialized tool, unless you have some nifty, 90-degree pliers with long reach of some sort, then perhaps you'd have a better time. I'm not sure if the dealerships have a special tool or if they just take the entire manifold out. Not sure myself, but it's doable. Just takes some time. In the end, what I ended up doing, I was trying to take this out without breaking it, but like I said, it's kind of inevitable. So what I did is I took a flathead screwdriver, a stubby one, and just sort of shoved it in between the actual fitting and this ring. And I broke the ring with the screwdriver and I did it in 2 locations, one over here and one over there. And by doing that, you relieve all of the tension on it. It no longer has its integrity and it just kind of pops off. If I attempted that method the first time, we would be having this conversation about half an hour ago. All right, time to put the new one in, and hopefully it's nowhere near as annoying. Again, I apologize for the poor angle, so there's really no good way of showing this. But you can see here I've got my new breather valve. I'm going to sneak this in now, kind of behind that pipe. And again, this is new plastic, but it is still plastic, so just be careful with it. All right, I've got the new breather valve in. Just want to make a couple of notes for you guys. To get the lower fitting actually seated properly on the crankcase fitting, you'll want to make sure you kind of rock it back and forth, and definitely use a good lubricant like Super Lube or O-rings and other rubber seals. You don't want to pinch those O-rings or tear them on the way in. You would think it'd be a pretty easy fit in there, and it is relatively straightforward. It takes you about a couple minutes to kind of seat it properly, but it's not going to be a quick, slip on. So you definitely want to rock that joint back and forth with the top part disconnected, of course, and you'll notice it'll just kind of slowly slide in. What I would do is I'd rock it from the top, actually using the breather portion kind of gently, while I'd be pushing with my other hand on the actual fitting. And I heard a nice click, and once you hear that click, you're good to go. Definitely stick your phone down there with the camera on, record a quick video for yourself to make sure it's seated. I thought it was seated a couple times, but I would find that the O-ring was exposed. So if we're looking at the old fitting over here, you'll see this portion right here, this lip, should be essentially flush with the crankcase fitting. You should not be seeing anything else. If you see O-ring, that's definitely not a good sign. So like I said, definitely want to make sure it's flush before you continue. And then once you have that done, you can go ahead and focus on the top. For the top, similar situation, of course, you'll have the bottom piece already secured. So you'll have a little bit less room to play with, but you want to kind of wiggle it in and gently push back and forth until it finally seats into place. Again, same deal as the bottom. You want to make sure that O-ring is, in fact, both O-rings are properly lubricated and they go in smoothly. You also do not want to use the screw, or use the bolt rather, to suck it in. You want to make sure it's seated properly first, and then you bolt it in for the reassurance. The last thing you want to do is strip out that bolt hole, because that's a very annoying fix on a magnesium intake manifold. You also don't want to damage the O-ring. So it's all a delicate, patient process, and you will be worn thin after trying to get that fitting off from the old one. So just keep that in mind and be very cautious in doing so. At this point, it's going to be the exact same process to put on our Y-pipe and intakes, of course. And don't forget to put back that little vacuum hose that rotates around the breather valve and reconnect it to where it's supposed to go. That'll be annoying if you don't do that. Not the end of the world, of course. But when you put back the Y-pipe, of course, do remember to put your vacuum hose back on the little connector. Don't want to forget this. And it's pretty straightforward. I mean, the Y-pipe will just clip right on and the air boxes will slide in. Let's reconnect this vacuum hose. It's aligned as it should be. Good Lord. What a machine, man. God, oh, that's a huge hog. Wow.